Hey guys, so today let's talk about why most accountants and bookkeepers struggle when it comes to online lead generation and why my students seem to so consistently reach their goals. And it really comes down to statistics and keeping track of three main metrics. So let me kind of I want to kind of do this from a statistical perspective as well as a quantitative perspective. So when I say statistics, right, the one of the greatest like classes I ever did in school, I know a lot of people, kind of have their thoughts on the school system. One of the greatest classes was statistics. And the reason why was because if you understand that everything in life is a game of statistics and just really mastering that, you can go and make as much money as you want. Now, within reason, you're probably not going to be able to grow a business that's like 10, $20 million per year, at least for your first business. I'm not saying you can, I'm not speaking that over your life. I'm just saying to start, right? Some people they're like, I got to make, $1 million, $2 million per year with my first business idea. And if I don't make it that, then I'm a failure. It's like, no, it's not like that. Like, oftentimes, if you're doing this stuff alone, it's going to take you probably about two or three times of starting a business by yourself in order to make it work. Like when I first got started, I tried stuff like e-commerce. I tried Amazon FBA. I did like senior citizen chair workouts. Like, so I was like a fitness trainer. Um, yeah, I did a food delivery service. I tried so many different like types of business models that I just didn't know what I was doing. It wasn't until I like started investing in like coaches, mentorships, masterminds that I really figured this stuff out. But so when you're starting out, like you can't really get upset with yourself that you're not a gajillionaire overnight. Now, if you're not making at least 3K per month and you've been, doing this for like 7 months, okay, there is something, you don't have the right strategies in place, or else you would already be like relatively successful at that range, right? So if that's you, I'd probably go and seek some outside help, just, speaking from like real experience for myself. So three main metrics. Okay. Number one is number of leads. Okay. So most people do not have enough leads. So let's just put it in perspective. Um, it's very hard. Let's say if you only have 10 biz owners, in order to get to 10K per month, you would need to charge them about $1,000 per month and get 100% of them to say yes. There's no closers in existence that have ever gotten a 100% close rate. If someone tells you they have a 100% close rate, they are lying. Okay, there's always something that goes wrong, at least in one deal out of 10. Always something goes wrong. I get like someone like they're looking to work with you, but like they get sick or they have to go on vacation or something always comes up. So anyone tells you they're gonna have 100% is lying to you. So this is very statistically improbable, very unlikely. However, if you have 100 business owners, and let's say that you get 20 of them pay 500 per month, now you're at 10K, and this is extremely likely, right? So you probably have like a 9 out of 10 chance versus like a 0 out of 10 chance to do this. So what changed? It was the total number of leads, right? So if you can theoretically, if you can find probably about, if you can get five new biz owners to connect each day, if you multiply, let's say that we'll say you do this 300 days out of the year. So we'll say five times, come on, numbers locks us off. Oops. Five times 300 days. Okay, that is 1,500 business owners by the end of the year. That's a lot. A lot of people, what happens, like whenever you think in terms of large numbers, like, oh, if I had to get 3,000 business owners, that would be so, I couldn't see that's so many people. But if you break it down into like just small numbers, let's say if you get 10 new business owners a day to connect with you, 10 times, we'll say 300, that's 3,000 business owners. That means you could take 60 days off the year off. That's your weekend, right? That's your weekends plus a couple holidays. And the cool thing is, you don't have to manually do this. You can use automation tools that will boost this number up. And every single day, you're getting closer and closer to that 3,000 people. Now, personally, for me, I would not stop at 3,000 people, but that's just because I'm kind of a worst case scenario person. Whenever I make my plans, I always make my plans off the worst case scenario, right? So for me, worst case scenario is someone's going to pay me $500 per month. If they're not willing to pay me at least $500 per month, at the stage that I'm at in my business and the numbers that I like hitting, like that's just not going to work. So I just pass them off to someone else who, will work for a little bit less. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just if you're trying to hit a high goal, it's easier if you can take on less clients but make more money. So you have more leads, take on lower amount of clients, and you charge more money. And that is complete security because you always are leaving money on the table, right? Let's say if you only take 20 clients from 3K leads, that means you have, what is that, 2,980 leads left to sell, right? So what does that mean? That means that if one drops, right? Sometimes clients go out of business, sometimes like just things happen. If one drops, you can replace you have 2,980 chances to replace them. That's the thing. That's the game. You always want to have more than what you need. Whenever people talk about like, oh, do I need to do this? Do we need this? Like, no, you don't need this. But in life, it's not about just what you need. It's about getting to that next level of what you want. And then once you've mastered the level of getting what you want, it's about getting what you choose. That's the next level. That's kind of level I'm at. I don't know if that's the ultimate level. Uh, you know, you know, I'm not a billionaire by any means, any stretch of the imagination. So, there's probably thousands of levels above what I am. But at least at this moment in time, I'm at the stage of choice. Now, for most regular people, like if you're anything like me, like I didn't necessarily want to go and have like $100 million in the bank. I wanted to be able to buy whatever I wanted to buy, do whatever I wanted to do, go wherever I wanted to go, spend as much time with whatever I want. So I'm at that level where I can do that, right? Um, I'm actually thinking of I'm putting the plans in the works so I can escape these winters in Michigan. So I don't know, this winter's been really really challenging, especially like the last couple of days. Like man, I didn't realize I had like such low blood sugar until like the cold kind of like I was like at the gym just like passing out the other day. So I was like, oof, that's crazy. Not like full on passing out, but like when you can kind of like feel it, like you're going in and out of consciousness kind of thing. That was happening. I was like, oop, I'm done. I'm done. So right now I'm looking at different locations like Florida. There are certain parts of Florida that are super inexpensive and it's like 60 to like 80 degrees. So I'm like literally gonna like do a test run where I do like two weeks in like an Airbnb out there. And then there's a lot of places you can go on like Airbnb where they will sell you like let's say like a months long stay and they'll do it for like $2,000, right? Which, for some people it's a lot of money. It's about the equivalent of like apartment, depending where you're located. But I mean, for $2,000, just to be able to go and escape and do whatever you want, and you can write off on your taxes and stuff like that. A certain percentage, not the whole thing, but it's just crazy how many like options we have. But that's the ability to choose, right? So I'm choosing where I want to live. Before I was like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, but now I'm choosing to do this, so I can choose, and it doesn't matter if it costs a lot of money. It doesn't matter if it costs $5,000 per month. It doesn't matter because we have money. And not just money, we have like investments, we have things that are spitting off cash passively for us, right? That's kind of the place I'm trying to get you to. And if you watch enough of these videos, you'll eventually get there. And it's a mixture of if you watch enough of these videos and you get some outside help, you'll get there. Like I can't promise you just by watching these YouTube videos, you're gonna make a lot of money because I don't know exactly where you're starting from. I don't know how good you are at interpreting information and applying it to your own situation. And I don't know, like, what your commitment level is. So usually if someone invests in our mentorship program, number one, they're committed because they've put a lot of money towards it. It's not a huge amount of money by any means. There are a lot of programs on the market that are way more expensive than ours, but they have some skin in the game. Now they're serious. They're able to come directly from my mouth. I can say, okay, so you watched this video a long time ago, but you kind of interpreted it wrong. This is what I was meaning specifically for you. This is how I would go and do it. Then you get scripts, you get pricing calculators, you get everything that you need to go and like do this thing step by step, make sure you don't make any mistakes. So it's like I want you to have success, and I'm giving you all the tools in these videos to kind of be able to like get a head start. But for most of you to actually go and find real success, you're probably going to invest in something, whether it's my program or someone else's, doesn't matter. But you're gonna have to probably invest, and you're probably if you do someone else's program, just being completely honest, most programs on the market is like how to learn bookkeeping, but it doesn't really do any like marketing stuff or how to like grow a business. We have both, right? So we teach how to learn bookkeeping, or if you already know how to do bookkeeping, we just go straight into marketing and getting clients. So you have a lot of choice and a lot of options. So whenever I'm thinking of the business, right, I'm thinking of statistics. So X equals 10 people. So let's say, and this is pure statistics, okay? Let's say you have a population of 100 people. So I'm going to draw 10 X's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I could probably spread those out more. I didn't know how many X's and how much room that would take. So I'm going to spread them out just a little more, you know, make it look a little prettier. So our job is to try and get a very large percentage of these people to want to work with us, right? So the cool thing about this, so remember, each X equals about 10 people. So let's say that I go and send out 100 connection requests, right? So what statistics is talking about is like what percentage of these people will actually like respond and actually want to work with us, right? So I'm gonna basically go and we'll say out of these 5 people. So this is 50 people. So based on that, one out of it's basically like every 80% of people are going to be able to buy. The remaining 20% is broken into two categories. The first 10% is going to be people that just will never buy no matter what you say, right? That's these people, disqualified, never buy, bad leads, right? There's someone, this 110 out of people always buys, always buys. The money is made with these remaining three. So this is 30 people. So our job is that for every one of these 50 people, we want to invite as many of them as possible to book a call to see if we can help them. Right? So let's say 30 invitations after a convo. So I never want to just like friend request someone, then immediately go, hey, let's book a call. Because they're not gonna have any context, they're not gonna know anything about you, they're just gonna be terrible calls and just a waste of time. So you have to be able to ask good questions to kind of get an understanding of like their pains, their problems, their concerns, where they are in their business, whether or not they have money to invest, and like are they even looking for help with their accounting and bookkeeping, right? So let's say out of this, like they do, okay? So now the reason why it's important is because you're gonna have a very consistent close rate. So the higher that we can drive this up, the higher we drive this, the more money we make. Right. So if you're inside of our program, we always talk about like specific KPIs. I'll give you guys very generalized KPIs right now, but this just for the sake of example, because I know like some people are better at like broad examples. Some people are very good with like specific examples. I'm giving you a broad example here, and inside the program we give you like specific stuff. Also, because I don't want to lead you astray. I don't want you to be like, Bryce told me if I get 10 connections on LinkedIn, I'm going to be a millionaire. And when you get 10 connections, you're not a millionaire, you hate me forever. That's not, fair for any one of us involved, right? So that's why I don't give you specifics of like what you need to specifically do. Because two people can watch this video, one person doesn't even know how to do bookkeeping. And if they try to do this now and they don't know how to do bookkeeping, how are they going to get a client? Second one is maybe someone that already has 50,000 clients and they could like take one principle we talk about and make $1 million off it. You know what I mean? But everyone's starting at such a different spot. It'd be irresponsible to say, okay, this is the specific thing for every person watching. So I'm gonna give you a range. So out of these 30 people, you're probably going to have 1 5 consultation calls. That's just because like literally like 50% of people are uncommitted. They don't show up. And that's across all industries. Like again, you're never gonna have 100%. Some industries are gonna be like more, some people are gonna be less. It just depends. Like usually for me, for people that like, for example, let's say that someone wants to invest in our mentorship program. The people that literally like book a call, like we get almost every person that books a call to actually show up. It's because usually like people who book a call are serious about their business, right? And that's another reason why you have a lot of content. If you make content, it basically allows you to have the people that are, kind of not super serious. They can still like follow along and feel like involved, but the only people you really talk to are people that are really serious. So whenever someone books a call, they're serious about like growing their business. They want help. They show up to the consultation calls. There's really only like a handful of people that don't show up, and like sometimes it's like stuff happens, just random things. But usually, if someone books a call to grow their business through our mentorship program, they're very serious. So I used to have that problem where you just have like random uncommitted people, like if you invest a lot in advertising and stuff. But nowadays, I don't really have that because a lot of people just come from our YouTube channel. So. But for you, if you're starting out and you don't have a lot of content, you don't have an audience, you just have a lead list, right? Then you're going to have a lot of people who just don't show up to the sales call. And that's okay, right? Um, you can follow up with these people. These 1 5 people. All right. So next, 1 5 people show. You should, if you're doing good, you should. Well, if you're like bare minimum like salesperson, you should be closing at least like 50%. 0.5. So you should have about 7.5 clients from this. Now that's like bare minimum. Like some of our best students, like I had a student, she was closing like 95%. Like that's super astronomical. A lot of that is because like your close rate goes up um by warmth and trust. So she had a lot of trust because hers were all referrals from partners, and that's one thing we teach you guys in our program. Yeah, so all of her stuff was like referrals from like partners. So like literally they came to the call to give her money. They knew they would have to pay money. They knew it was gonna be expensive. They just didn't know exactly how much, so they were finalizing the deal essentially on that call. Very good place to be at. Most of you watching this video are not going to be at that level starting at the gate. You can get to that point, but a safe kind of like rule of thumb to know like are you doing things correctly or are you on the right path is really going to be like your percentage close rate, right? So 50% is a really safe one. So that's how we think about statistics, right? So now all you have to do, sorry, it's not scrolling properly. All you have to do is take this original drawing and you multiply this by 3. Come on. Come on, big fella. Yeah. You just multiply that by 3. Crazy. Super simple, super efficient. Technically only needed 2 because don't forget we actually still have these guys. So from this one, we get 7.5 clients out of 50. What's 10% of 50? You get what? It's right here. That's already about what? 9.5 or 10. So really, if you multiply by 2, you'll be at 10 to, we'll say, like, let's say that you did about 20K per month. I like doing things in threes, so I will literally have a spare 100 people waiting in the wings. Right? That's really all this lead generation comes down to. It find a pattern, learn sales, price correctly, and I know you maybe can't read this writing. I am writing a little faster than what I should be. Price correctly. Come on. And then just repeat to desired income. Cool. That's the what, right? So if you can do all of these things, boom, you're gonna be there, right? The place that gets hard is gonna be the how. Niche, platform, um, audience, message script, um, consult script, follow up, objection handling, etc., contracts, etc. Same thing, pricing correctly is that going to be calculator, packages, etc. Then is this also upsells? Then here for desired income, repeat distractions. So how to kind of like handle distractions, KISS, keep it simple, whatever you want to put the S, superhero, stupid, sir, keep it simple, sir. Who knows? um, existential crisis. What's the existential crisis management? You'll be so it's actually really funny whenever you start making a lot of money, like you start being like, oh, why am I making this money? Why me? This is crazy. Like, oh, and like you gotta like really kind of root yourself like in donating stuff, like find passion outside of money. Spend more time with your kids. Do like organizations, do like different like missions and stuff. So there's so much stuff you have to kind of learn within there, right? So it's like it's simple, right? It's just one, two, three, four. You do this over 3 years, 5 years, you're gonna be a millionaire. Like you'll literally have made $1 million. Collected has hit your bank account. What percentage of that $1 million that you actually keep? It's all up to you, depending on how you do your taxes, depending on like what your yearly expenses are. Do you grow your yearly expenses, as you make more money, right? And it just kind of depends. Mm. The one thing for me is I usually don't expand my recurring stuff. Like I didn't go out and buy like a house, like a giant house. I didn't go out and buy a bunch of random cars. I bought a couple nice cars. I'll be honest with that, but I used them as a write-off, right? So they kind of had to match certain criteria in order to qualify for 179, but we did that. And then yeah, I do vacations, but it's not like a recurring expense is kind of going, right? So it's like, you pick and choose what you want to do. Um, but you don't have to kind of go overboard just because you're making a lot more money. And you, I'm not going to tell you how to like spend your money, how to like live your life. Right? I'm not really kind of telling you what to do that. I'd rather you kind of like in the mentorship program we can kind of talk about it, but I'm never telling you what you have to do. It's just what's kind of like been for me and what I've seen from other people. I've seen a lot of people lose a lot of money after making good money. So just kind of depends. Then you have like, distractions like, oh, I want to do this thing or I want to do this other business or blah, blah, blah. It just takes your attention away from it. So once you can like, and also keep it simple, like you start becoming like this mad genius when you start making a lot of money. So you try a million different marketing methods, like, oh, I've done this the whole time. Let me try something new. It's like really kind of learning your way around that. But if you can make a lot of money and you'll be really good. Awesome. So that's why most people struggle when it comes to starting an online accounting and bookkeeping business, and why my students so consistently are hitting their goals. It's not magic, it's just statistics, it's just having skill sets, just like really making sure you know what you're doing. Okay. So thanks so much for watching this video. If you want some help growing your business, you want to like avoid a lot of the mistakes that cause most people to fail, go ahead and click the link inside the description, either above or below the video. Book a call with myself. Let's see if I can help you inside of our mentorship program. Okay. I'll talk to you soon. I'll see if you do book the call. I can't wait to meet you. If you're not quite ready for a call, no big deal. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Stop.